getting real before the stork arrives. Are you really ready? Alright, let's cut through the noise. You're scrolling, you're seeing all these picture-perfect pregnancy announcements, the gender reveals, the baby showers, and that's wonderful. It truly is. But here at social media, we see it all, and I'm telling you, behind the filters and the curated posts, there's a real-life transformation happening. Not just for one person, but for two. This isn't just about picking out tiny shoes and painting a nursery, folks. This is about the foundation of the family you're building, and that foundation gets stress-tested like nothing else when a little one arrives. You think you're busy now? You think you've had disagreements? Buckle up, because parenthood is a whole new league. Now, I've been doing this a long time, and I can tell you straight, pregnancy isn't just growing a baby, it's a relationship marathon. Research shows how you communicate during these 9 months determines your happiness years into parenthood. You heard that right. It's not about having the fanciest stroller or the most organic baby food. It's about whether you and your partner are truly on the same page, whether you can talk about the tough stuff, the scary stuff, the stuff that makes you uncomfortable. Because if you can't do it now, when the pressure is just building, how in the world do you think you're gonna manage when you're sleep-deprived, hormonal, and a tiny human is depending on you for everything? So, we're not gonna sugarcoat it. We're here to give you the real deal, the straight talk you need. We'll break down the 9 conversations that build unshakable teamwork before sleepless nights test you. These aren't just casual chats. These are critical discussions that can make the difference between a partnership that thrives and one that barely survives. It's time to get serious, get honest, and get prepared for the most important job you'll ever have. So, put down your phones for a minute. Well, after this video, and let's talk about what really matters. The unspoken truth, why your words now shape your tomorrow. Alright, let's get down to brass tacks. Why does talking matter so much right now? I mean, you're busy, you're excited, maybe you're a little bit terrified or a lot, your body's changing, your life's changing. The host hit the nail on the head. Hormones, fears, exhaustion, it's a pressure cooker. And what happens in a pressure cooker if you don't have a release valve? Boom! Things explode. Your relationship is that pressure cooker. And open, honest communication is your only reliable release valve. You can't just smile and nod your way through 9 months of monumental change and expect everything to be hunky-dory when the baby arrives. That's just not how life works, folks. You gotta face the music, and the music is playing loud and clear. A 2020 study, and there are plenty more like it, found couples who talk openly during pregnancy report stronger bonds after birth. Now, why is that? It's not rocket science. Facing the what-ifs head-on, your emotional game plan. Now let's talk about something that can keep you up at night even before the baby arrives. Emotions and fears. It's completely normal to have a whole heap of them swirling around. What if something goes wrong? That's a big one, isn't it? What if the pregnancy has complications? What if the birth isn't what you planned? What if you're not a good parent? These aren't silly thoughts, they're human thoughts. And pretending they don't exist is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. Sooner or later it's going to pop up, probably at the worst possible moment. So, let's get real about these fears. Acknowledge them, name them, and then you can start to deal with them. Dollars and diapers, getting your financial house in order, because hope is not a strategy. Alright, let's talk about the green stuff. Money, moolah, cash. Call it what you want, but it's one of the biggest stressors for couples, and adding a baby to the mix? Well, that just cranks up the volume. You can't just wish your way to financial security when you're expecting. Budgets, parental leave, emergency funds, these aren't just buzzwords. They are critical components of your pre-baby financial boot camp. Ignoring this conversation is like going on a cross-country road trip with no gas in the tank and no map. You're setting yourself up for a breakdown, and it won't be pretty. So it's time to pull your heads out of the sand and get a clear picture of your financial reality. Let's break it down. First, budgets. Do you even have one? Chapter 4. Who does what when the baby cries? Defining your team playbook before kickoff. So the baby's here. It's 3 a.m., the little one is screaming, you're exhausted, your partner's exhausted. Who handles night feeds? Pediatrician calls? If you haven't talked about this stuff before this moment, you're in for a world of hurt, resentment, and some seriously ugly arguments fueled by sleep deprivation. Assumptions are the termites of relationships, folks. Assuming your partner will just know what to do or will automatically step up for certain tasks is a recipe for disaster. You need to get ahead of this. It's time to create a flexible task list now. And I emphasize flexible because things will change, but you need a starting point. Think about all the new responsibilities that come with a baby. Chapter 5. Your baby, your rules. Aligning on what truly matters for your little one. Alright, let's dig into something that can be a real minefield if you don't navigate it carefully. Your values around birth and raising your baby. Delivery preferences, parenting styles, faith, traditions. These aren't small things, people. These are deeply ingrained beliefs and expectations that both of you are bringing into this new chapter. And if you haven't talked about them, you might be in for some serious surprises and conflicts down the road. You can't just assume your partner sees eye to eye with you on how to bring this child into the world, or how you're going to raise them. It's time to lay those cards on the table. First up, delivery preferences. This is a big one, especially for the birthing parent, but it impacts both of you. Chapter 6. Beyond the bedroom. Keeping the connection alive when you're expecting and exhausted. Let's be honest, pregnancy and new parenthood can throw a major curveball at your intimate life. And I'm not just talking about sex, though that's certainly part of it. I'm talking about overall intimacy, that feeling of closeness, connection, and affection that keeps a relationship strong. It's easy for this to get lost in the shuffle of doctor's appointments, nursery preparations, and then the round-the-clock demands of a newborn. But if you let that connection wither, you're heading for trouble. So how do you keep that spark alive, or at least glowing warmly, during this intense time? First, you need to redefine what intimacy means for you as a couple right now. For many, especially during certain stages of pregnancy or in the postpartum period, the desire or ability for sexual intercourse might change dramatically. And that's okay, it's normal. The host put it well. Cuddles greater than sex, massages absolutely. Chapter 7. Guarding Your Minds, the mental wellness check-in you can't afford to skip. We've talked about physical health, financial health, relational health. But there's another critical piece of the puzzle that often gets overlooked, especially when everyone's focused on the baby, your mental health. And I'm talking about both partners here. Pregnancy and the postpartum period are times of immense hormonal shifts, sleep deprivation, and life upheaval. It's a perfect storm for mental health challenges, and pretending it can't happen to you is naive and dangerous. You absolutely must know PPD signs. Have a support plan. This isn't optional, folks. It's essential. Let's get specific. Postpartum depression, PPD, is real, and it doesn't just affect mothers. Fathers and partners can experience postpartum depression and anxiety too. The signs can be subtle or overwhelming. Chapter 8. Dreaming Beyond Diapers. Crafting your family's long-term vision, together. It's so easy when you're expecting or in the thick of those early baby days, for your world to shrink down to the size of a diaper bag. Your focus is rightly on the immediate needs of this tiny human, but I'm telling you, it's also important to lift your gaze and dream together. Careers, family size, date nights. What about your future selves as individuals and as a couple? If you don't consciously make space for these conversations, you risk waking up one day years from now, feeling like you've lost yourselves, or each other, in the shuffle of parenthood. Let's talk careers. How might having a child impact your professional lives? Will one partner take an extended break, or go part-time? How will you support each other's career ambitions, even if they need to be adjusted for a while? These are big questions with significant financial and personal implications. If one person feels like their career aspirations are being completely sacrificed without discussion or appreciation, that's a breeding ground for resentment. You need to be a team in supporting each other's growth, even when it's challenging to balance with family life. Then there's the question of family size. Chapter 9. Talk Tools for Teen Parents. Mastering the Art of Connection, not just conversation. Alright, we've talked about what to discuss, but how you discuss it is just as important, if not more so. You can have all the right topics on your list, but if your communication skills are rusty, those conversations can quickly turn into arguments or shutdowns. So, let's get into some pro-communication hacks. These are the tools you need in your relationship toolkit to ensure your discussions are productive, connecting, and actually solve problems rather than creating new ones. It's time to master these skills, because good communication isn't just about talking, it's an art form. First and foremost, listen to understand. Paraphrase, this is huge. So many of us listen just to find a gap to jump in with our own point, or we're busy formulating our rebuttal while our partner is still talking. That's not listening. That's just waiting to talk. Outro, your strongest start, building a legacy of love and teamwork. So, there you have it. 9 critical conversations that can truly transform your journey into parenthood. As the host said, pregnancy is your training ground for parenthood. These conversations build resilience, love, and a rock-solid partnership. This isn't just about getting through the next 9 months or the first year. This is about laying down a foundation of communication, trust, and teamwork that will serve your family for decades to come. It's about being intentional, being proactive, and choosing to invest in your relationship, which is the bedrock of your family. Think about it. Your baby gets the best gift parents who are a team, not parents who are perfect, because nobody is.